Whew, what a busy day I have been recently went through today. So either way though, but I'll get to more now in a moment. So, hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I am of course back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more Let's Play of Rayman, Raving, Rabbids TV Party for the Nintendo Wii. So last time we have basically just went through 7 minigames on Friday, and we did that pretty okay, except by the fact that we haven't exactly beat the high score in most of these minigames anyway. But apart from that though, I did this day pretty decent. So because of this though, yeah, today for this episode is the fact that we're going to be moving on to the 6th day on the Forms of Story mode, and that's what appears to be Saturday. So either way though, and it looks like so far anyway, is the fact that we actually got into 59% done. Even though, mind you, I was going to expecting to able to go higher, but even then I didn't exactly beat the high scores though. So now that Rayman has got paranoid again, except the fact that he now tosses the TV on the actual toilet. So because of that though, I would have imagined if they were able to actually flush it down completely, but usually as far as how this goes, I have no idea what I was trying to be thinking of. So anyway, so at the moment we can only play 2 minigames at the moment. Let's go for this last jackpot minigame. If I can assure that correctly, this will be the last jackpot minigame we have to go through, because as far as I'm aware, whenever we get onto the forms in the next few time slots, it will be more specifically mainly focusing on the forms of pop culture music and stuff like that, which again, I was a bit worried at first if I was gonna able to get accidentally come across into a copyright strike, which even then we'll point it out whenever we get into the forms of the later progressioning for this Let's Play. So because of this though, but thankfully though, this Let's Play will be almost finished by then. So either way though, expecting to be much more of a excitement when this Let's Play will be finished by then. So anyway, a few things I want to explain in terms of today anyway. Obviously today's day is of course the 14th of April today, in this case in 2021, and it looks like that tomorrow, for those of you who lived in the UK, is that the Winnie the Pooh film will be 10 years old now. Although as far as the American version, as far as I'm concerned, that basically that film didn't came out in America until July, so it's a bit like a 3-month delay in comparison to the UK release. So it's a bit odd considering how the fact that some of these UK films managed to get them first before Americans do. So it's a bit of a weird situation back then sometimes, because either way though, that normally UK films UK country managed to get certain films first. Like for example, another one of those examples by the forms of Shaun the Sheep the movie, both the first film and the second film if I recall, because basically that film first came out in the UK anyway, but then it later on came out in the forms of the America, being released on the forms of a different kind of company, by the forms of Lionsgate. So in this case though, is the fact that, yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about right there, but anyway, and also during tomorrow is the fact the American release of Rio for the theaters, as far as I recall correctly, will be also a decade old. So yeah, I can't even believe time itself just went flying by, especially because that, you know, everything else goes all really zoomed out quick, and it feels like way past cool and stuff like that whenever we're able to actually just go through certain day by day kind of syndrome or something. But then again though, it has been quite a few days since I actually mentioned about anything for that matter. So in this case though, good news about the forms of today anyway, especially notable for this discussion, is that, actually I'll save that for later until whenever we get into the forms of the musical minigames and stuff like that, because for the most part though, this final jackpot minigame is pretty self-explanatory if you manage to get the hang of this though, especially notable because specifically that this minigame might go a bit longer this time around though, especially notable that you're now able to actually just trying to deal with a lot more obstacles, like for instance that we now need to dodge those little you know, the laser and stuff like that, because again, if you dare touch the laser, then you probably subtract points, unless if you really want to grab those projectiles or these little collectible stuff again. Although, gotta think about it though, before we move on, I remember whenever I managed the first time I got this game, back in 2009, I believe Saturday is the only day I actually got stuck on for the longest time. Mainly it's because of some of these minigames that I haven't exactly, beaten my high score or something, or perhaps maybe there are some minigames that might be pretty hard to get used to back in the day. At least as far as I can usually think about this for the sake of time. So as a result of this specific stuff though, every nowadays, the more I'm grown older, then I can assure you I can able to actually pass for these segments no problem, without really need to rely on the forms of a lot of, you know, trial and error situations, and also to top it off, that's, you know, just trying to able to actually get stuck onto a certain amount of time slots and during a continuous amount of times. So, at least thankfully, as you can see, that I've managed able to get enough points, so that way I can able to actually instantly manage to get myself the another Rabbid accessory. So in this case though, we'll probably be able to find out once we finish up this particular, you know, obstacle minigame and stuff like that. So, in this case though, there's not much right to home about. So, and I'm quite surprised that we haven't exactly come across into any adverts for quite some time at this point right now, just because, well, then again, that we've pretty much guaranteed about the fact that we've pretty much almost done several minigames or something like that. So, I can assure to you, because of how the fact that, well, again, if the more you complete them, then the more lesser channels that you might come across into, at least in the console version anyway, until you get to the next time slots and stuff like that. Although, here's the thing though, one thing I totally forgot to mention about this, ever since the journey forms off, well, let's just say on Thursday or something, basically, it's the fact that, no, sorry, what I meant to say is on Friday, actually. Even though, mind you, that the actual, the previous upload on, during the course of the fourth part of this Let's Play has been, like, delayed. Probably due to the forms of, once again, my Wi-Fi keeps on glitching out. And as a result, it won't allow me to able to actually, like, you know, fully publish the actual or upload a video or anything like that. So because of this though, yeah, I just got paranoid sometimes when my computer internet decides to able to, well, stop for whatever reason at all. So in this case though, we'll discuss on that in a moment, because for now, we're heading back onto the forms of Macro TV on the forms of the next minigame, which is whatchamacallit. So, in this case though, it's the fact that we once again gonna have to do the forms of surfing through space and stuff like that, to be expected by this point. You know, very similar to the other counterparts, so in this case, not much else different from there, I'm afraid. So, but I digress. Oh yeah, something's worth mentioning for this point as well, is the fact that, well, specifically until tomorrow anyway, it doesn't matter what region you lived in. Basically, we only got about, well, 1 day left until we now onto the halfway point. In terms, no, actually, couldn't think about it. It's all Friday that we able to actually get to the halfway point in terms of, you know, April already. So in this case, though, there's not much else I can speak about it. So yeah, apart from the fact that I do apologize for the, you know, the lack of uploads during the course of the 9th of April, because I was expecting that we were gonna able to upload the next part of this. But chances are though, is that, as I said this before, our Wi-Fi connections keep on messing about. And also not to mention though, sadly for the UK, that Prince Philip sadly died. Which even then though, it seems kind of sad, especially noticeable that I get it, he's actually very important to any other UK audiences out there. Especially noticeable because he was the most important part, along with the forms of Queen Elizabeth II. And as a result though, that's why I'm kind of feel sorry for the likes of that specific day. So yeah, I must have pointed that out. So, and also another thing as well is the fact that usually, relatively speaking, oh yeah, I need to get that little gift present here, so just in case we can able to unlock the next accessory for the rabbit, and well, everything else goes all fine and dandy for the most part. Well, it wasn't until whenever I managed to realize that I keep on missing those little boost pads, or these boost rings. Although, kind of thing about it though, we're now, well, boosting onto the actual Saturn itself. And did I get enough points for that? Oh, yes I did. So in this case, well, we actually did that pretty good in the beginning, as far as the forms of, well, to be more specifically, getting those accessories at one point. So, anyways, let's move on to the next time slot, in this case on the forms of 12 PM to, okay, so we only got, 2 minigames. Let's go for the ones with, groove on, so just in case we can able to do another, well, rhythm song, kind of think about it. So because of that though, if you're probably wondering why I just ignored Pump My Rabbit minigame for quite some time, well, mainly it's because that minigame can be a bit luck-based as well. So because of that though, I'll talk more about that whenever we get into that specific minigame in the future. So either way though, let's go for a bit of a challenge by going for the forms of that particular instrument I'm going to be working on through. So, yeah, anyway, yeah, what was I trying to say? Oh, yeah, you noticed about the fact that in journey forms of, the past few days ago, well, at least to be more specifically, ever since on the 10th of, April, that, one thing I totally forgot to mention, especially Tiana hasn't mentioned about this ever since in Mario Party 4, and even especially noticeable in the forms of Maxi hasn't mentioned about this either on Sonic Advance 3 Let's Play. Basically, it's the fact that, Shantae, you know, with the one with the original Shantae game, there's been an extremely expensive game on the Game Boy Color originally. It's now gonna finally come out on the Nintendo Switch on Journey Forms of April 22nd. So because of that though, that will be about, 8 days for now. So because of that though, well, I'm pretty sure it might only exist in America. I'm not exactly sure if the UK might able to get this though, but we'll see what happens there. But from what I've noticed on the actual trailer from the likes of the original Shantae is now finally coming to the Nintendo Switch, is the fact that not only does it contain the original Game Boy Color version, but also it gets the forms of the Game Boy Advance Enhancement version as well. So that way you can able to actually access the forms of a hidden transformation that it can only be actually accessed to the forms of the Game Boy Advance enhancements and stuff like that, which I was like, that's pretty awesome actually, even though that is kind of a shame that it only came out in America. Well, usually that the European version of Shantae, the original Shantae, does manage to technically exist on the 3DS eShop, so at least I still managed to got that. But apart from those side of things though, is the fact that I just wish I could able to actually just well, take a game on a go for my Nintendo Switch version of Shantae. But we're not exactly sure if the UK release is going to exist on the Switch version, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. So either way though, and also I've heard several other rumors out there that once again rumors are attempted to either be fake or true, but then again though, it really depends on the forms of speculations for the sake of time. Apparently though, they're about to be able to do some sort of like a work from the likes of Sonic Colors Remastered for not only for the PlayStation 4, but Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Well, we don't know exactly for surely just yet though, because again, it's all rumors, so expecting it might actually be some of the false true lies or anything else like that. Although, mind you though, it's the fact that several other rumors can be a bit, well, a bit secrecy at times, mainly due to the fact that if some parts are true, some parts are real, but most of the time though, we're just gonna have to wait and find out. Especially noticeable until when it gets to the point until later on in June, or something like that for that matter. So in this case though, we'll just have to wait. But even then, I'm very curious to see how the fact that if it does manage to come true, then that means I can able to actually replay the game 3 times actually. One on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One if I was get a chance to get Xbox Series X in the future, or the forms of the Nintendo Switch, so that way I can able to play the console version of Sonic Colors on the go. So that would be interesting if that usually comes true. But again, it's all about the actual rumors and stuff like that, so sometimes I can't really trust several rumors sometimes, especially because, again, it's just a bit of some sort of a coincidence thing, whenever you're able to think it's going to be real, or is it going to be fake, or anything else like that. So because of that though, it really depends on it, honestly. So, But even then though, if I was gonna try to get the PS4 version of Sonic Colors remastered, if that's true, then, well, first of all, I'm gonna have to able to add up my storage first onto my PlayStation 4, just because at the moment that my PS4 is still running, still on low on storage at the moment, so at least expecting I was gonna able to try to sort things out. So in this case though, excuse me. And also, if I was trying to plan to get the Xbox Series X, as I said earlier, then possibly I might try to get the Xbox One version, or Xbox Series X for that matter, if that's specifically is going to be true, or even the Nintendo Switch version, in case if I was going to take a game on the go, which it will be awesome considering, but and the only version I'm probably not going to count is the PC version, even though, mind you, that some of the PC gamers out there is actually getting way more popular these days now, especially noticeable with the amount of mods they're able to put up with, and also to top it off, some very interesting settings, to be more specifically with 4K options, in addition with 60 frames per second, on certain games anyway though. Like, you probably already noticed about the fact that every single Kingdom Hearts games up to this point has now finally coming onto the PC. So because of this though, excuse me, that also speaking of the forms of Kingdom Hearts actually, is the fact that with Union Cross on smartphone devices, you know, the online services on the forms of Union Cross will be ended by the time until next month. So because of that though, and try to transform that into the forms of some sort of like a theater mode. So because of that though, I'm very curious to see how that's going to turn out. If it does exist, then I'm also able to download that for the sake of trying to able to watch the movie and stuff like that. It could be long though, it could be pretty long, but at least I'm glad that I managed to able to actually figure this out, that I've somehow managed to quit Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, because I don't know, I just think that that game is probably my least favorite in terms of the Kingdom Hearts games, although presentation is okay at best, and the soundtrack is obviously the biggest highlighter for me. And as far as gameplay is concerned, I don't know, I just felt like the actual combat mechanics in the forms of Union Cross is a bit, it's way too much for me. It's way too much for me. So again, you might have noticed about the fact that how much I always prefer playing games on the actual game consoles themselves. Well, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy playing games on my smartphones, don't get me wrong, especially specifically with the 2D Sonic games like Sonic 1, 2, CD, and occasional side games like Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, and Sonic Dash, and of course Sonic Jump, the original Sonic Jump, and Sonic Runner's Adventure, which I found that game okay enough, but not the best either. So, and also I managed to go back into Mario Kart Tour again, and it looks like that we're pretty much almost at the end of the Ninja Tour. So because of this though, and unfortunately though, I keep on getting very unlucky when it comes to Able's I was expecting to get. Oh yeah, I should probably mention about this while in the subject for this matter. Or actually, I'll get into more about it until any moments later, because, well, since we've done Trick Me on Shake It TV, which I did that pretty okay, but not the best run either. So because of this though, yeah, let's move on to the forms of the next time slot, which is, well, we're going back onto Groove On minigame. So in this case though, we are doing Born to Be Wild. So I definitely heard of this song actually, even though I haven't exactly listened to that specific song for quite some time, just because, well, you know. Okay, sorry for this jump cut right there, because once again my nunchuck just somehow feels a bit disjointed once again, but at least I can able to expect to fix this. So, although originally I was going to go for the electric guitar kind of mode, but to me it's actually a lot difficult than it looks. So I'm just going to have to make things a little bit simpler by going for the forms of a keyboard instrument instead. So anyways, on the subject with the forms of Mario Kart Tour recently, on the Ninja Tour, recently they did manage to add it in. Well, obviously I think we already mentioned about this already, that in addition to able to bring in the forms of, well, Commander Daisy costume, and also same applies to the forms of, you know, more variations of the exact same characters. Mainly this time around we have one new gold character, which appears to be King Babam Gold variation. And also we got ourselves Green Shy Guy this time around. So, despite the fact that green is my least favorite color, at least as far as, you know, personal preference when it comes to the forms of color and stuff like that. And of course, the main event on the forms of Ninja Tour is another cosmetic, you know, cosmetic characters in terms of Shy Guy variations, which this time it's Ninja. So in this case, it's more accurately a blue Shy Guy, ninja costume. So because of this though, and I was literally so close to able to actually just trying to get that godforsaken character, but of course the actual gotcha moment is the only drawback. So, oh jeez, I have so many bad luck with able to try to get these specific amount of characters specifically in Mario Kart Tour. In fact, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. If you managed to play Mario Kart Tour, what do you think of it so far? Is it twice as bad as the forms of how it does it on Mario Kart Super Circuit? Or is it good, or is it okay? Even though, despite the forms of microtransactions might able to ruin you, assuming if you're able to actually run out of jewels, and especially don't get me started on the forms of the, well, the requirements when it comes to able to actually buying a gold pass, which meaning about the fact that you weren't able to actually, you know, actually access to not only for much more better rewards, but also able to actually unlock the 200cc, and you have to pay it monthly, by the way, in order to able to make it happen. So because of this though, I'm just so sick of the forms of the microtransaction system on Mario Kart Tour. Although don't get me wrong, it is okay to me though. Like, the music is top notch, and also the visuals do look really, really good. However, the gameplay itself, it is still Mario Kart, don't get me wrong. But it's just that I feel like the actual, I still find the item system in this game, or the actual item system in that game, is actually way stupider, and it's also about luck-based elements to it for me though, compared to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, in my honest opinion. Speaking of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe actually, I've recently managed to 100% everything in terms of Mario Kart 8 recently, well, on the Switch anyway, just recently, because I've managed to able to finally got the final kart part, which appears to be the gold glider, and well, I'm pretty much all set, especially noticeable with able to actually 100% everything in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So, at least all it needs to do now for me though is to wait until eventually if Mario Kart 9 exists. So if that's to be the truth, then I will be really, really hyped for that. So anyway, so let's go for the next song here. Or in this case, the next minigame I should say. So I think we should probably go ahead and deal with let's do another one, Bites the Dust. Which, if I recall correctly, this song is performed by the Queen. So, because the Queen also did Don't Stop Me Now, which that song was actually heard from the likes of the Sonic movie, which is pretty awesome actually, because Don't Stop Me Now is probably my favorite song as well. So, because of this though, yeah, it seems pretty awesome, all things considered. So, let's go for this little violin, even though I was expecting to do the actual voice challenge, but it might be a bit difficult for me though anyway. So anyway, let's just go ahead and keep on doing this all over and over and over again, and I think I get the strong feeling that my arms is actually getting way too tired at that point. So yeah, because again, that's what motion mashing is attempted to do every nowadays. Especially that, well, Nintendo Switch also did that tradition as well, but in some games anyway. Like, for instance, that, you know, Just Dance games on the Switch, that basically gives you a little bit of a tiring arms and movements or anything else like that, which should be expected by that point, which, you know, it knows what it is, especially noticeable how the fact that how come that Just Dance series managed to able to become even a lot more popular these days, even after about more than a decade ago, well, to be more specifically, almost 12 years ago, since when the first game came out exclusively on the Wii. And as a result, they just managed to keep on sending a lot more sequels and several special variations, and during the course of, you know, different platforms and here and there, and it's just, oh man, it's just so much more, well, to work with. Even though, mind you, I didn't own a single Just Dance game, because, well, I did manage to try that game, and it does felt a bit underwhelming for me. I'm much rather just able to actually play the games with the actual controller and then just make myself a little bit more comfortable. Well, despite the fact that it might be a bit popular these days now for any other family out there, which is kind of understandable for those of you able to enjoy the fun and all that stuff, but not for me, just not for me. But I digress. Also, another thing I should probably point things out as well is that, well, talking of which though, actually, well, you know I mentioned this before, about the fact that I've managed to finish up with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that I've managed to 100% everything in that game now, but the next game I probably need to go ahead and play is Mario Tennis Aces, despite the fact that I haven't gone back into that game for quite some time now. And especially, it really helps me, because even then though, after all, the next Mario Golf game, buddy forms of Mario Golf Super Rush, is going to be on its way, so I was expecting it will be about time to able to actually go back into Mario Tennis Aces before the new Mario Golf is going to be releasing. So even then though, expecting to be hyped, as always will be. So, but you know, you get the idea how this little thing usually goes by that point. So in this case though, we'll just go ahead and just keep on timing with the actual notes and everything else like that, despite I keep on messing things up beyond belief, because again, sometimes my nunchuck always goes all disjointed every single time, and then also just manage to keep on missing the actual combos every once in a while. So but again, I did manage to try my best to able to actually aim for the ridiculous amount of high scores as I possibly could, but it's just that sometimes if my nunchuck gets all disoriented, then basically it just come across as like arbitrary to me though. So in this case though, have we done it yet? Oh, barely made it. Barely made it by able to actually get the high score, so top notch. Actually, kind of think about it, so far from the likes of well, specifically Saturday selections of channels, we actually did that pretty good, even though one exception being Trick Me, just because my emotions didn't exactly work all well enough for my part. So speaking of Shake It TV, we have Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, which is performed by Wham! So, if you want to know what that song comes from, he uses that song every time. Like, for instance, there was one in, well, I would say, the mature CGI movie called Sausage Party. In fact, let me know in the comments below what you think about Sausage Party, which I found that film kind of alright. I mean, not my kind of thing, to be honest with you. I mean, usually, relatively speaking, it's a little bit more well, way more mature than the forms of how it does it on the forms of, well, most any other CGI movies nowadays in the past. But, yeah, let me know in the comments below as well about what you think about Sausage Party. So, even then though, and also they obviously include that song on this terrible Emoji movie, because, seriously, suck that movie so much, because I hate it so much. But, I digress. Oh god, this just gave me a lot of body motions here and there, so because of this though, yeah, I just wasn't able to point things out right away, so yeah. And also, if you guys are probably wondering, whatever happened to that music on your capture footage? Well, the reason why I'm gonna have to do this for the sake of you guys out there is the fact that, well, I'm pretty sure that from what I've heard on several playthroughs of this game, that, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to mute this part, because of this, though, if you ever, if the YouTube managed to able to actually hear this particular song in the background, otherwise, I'll also give myself my massive copyright issues. So because of this, though, yeah, I think this is the only part, for the sake of this Let's Play, I'm gonna have to mute, because, well, it is a pretty good song, don't get me wrong, but I'm probably not going to put it onto the forms of my YouTube videos, because otherwise, that the more I do them, then I'll get myself my copyright claims. So because of this, though, yeah, something's worth noting for. So because of this, though, yeah, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. It's actually a pretty cool song in theory, but even then, they use that a lot in mostly any other movies these days now. And I get it because of its popularity, and all that jazz. So in this case though, there's not much else I can honestly try to say. So I would like to able to actually add it in my background music. I was going to replace this, but this is what I'm going to do from now on. So because of this though, I do apologize for that, and especially noticeable that it's important because even then though, I just refuse to give myself my copyright strike, because if I do, then my channel will be screwed by then. So yeah, I just want to let you guys give you a massive heads up. So yeah, as far as shaking up TV, as far as I'm concerned, it's okay. I mean, it's not my favorite kinds of minigames, to be honest with you. Although, I get it, this is before when Just Dance was a thing, sure enough. But it's just that, oh man, my inputs are so, well, a bit terrible for my inputs. Because sometimes I was able to try to copy the exact moves, but most of the time I just keep on messing things up beyond belief. So yeah, that's my only worries about that. So, but I digress. So, again, there's not much else I can talk about this for the sake of time, folks. Even though, as you can tell, that I've somehow almost felt worn out and exhausted. In fact, I'm not able to fetch my drink once I've done. So, either way, though, there's not much else I can honestly try to say about this for this point right here. So, yeah, I do apologize for the actual setup that's been going a little bit weird, especially noticeable because if I managed to hear about several other copyright issues and all that stuff though, then that was the part I'm gonna have to mute. So, now I'm sure most people already did that anyway, especially they just somehow skipped over some parts of several of Let's Plays like this. Especially noticeable that, usually relatively speaking, I understand that Ubisoft managed to able to utilize a lot of pop culture songs a lot throughout its history, ever since in, well, let's just say in 2006 or something. Well, at least for what I've heard of it anyway. So, as you can see, I've managed to bring back the audio, so just in case, everything else will be nicely, finally done and dandy. So, as you can see, that I've almost got myself a high score, but if only if my timing with the inputs doesn't go completely terrible. So, oh, holy nuts. Anyway though, so I guess we should probably go ahead and say this right now. We're gonna have to end things off at this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party. Is that, oh wow, we're actually on 71% done. So in this case, yeah, I believe we are gonna be moving on to the final day on the Forms of Story mode, and we should probably say this right now, until this Friday anyway. I think we should probably end this Let's Play from there. So what would you guys think? Yeah, I thought so too, because even then we're actually getting towards the end. So I'll see you guys until on Friday. Later fellas. Oh, I need some drink now.